Are you still waiting around for something to happen, like you're just waiting for the light to ascend you up into the heavens and enter the fifth dimension? That's not how this works. I'm going to break down the top misconceptions about the fifth dimension and how to truly know if you're in 5D. Now this is about the age of Aquarius. We are in it, baby. We are here right now. Right on planet Earth, not in the future, not in the past. I'm talking the present moment right here. From December 21st to the 28th, that was the window. That's how we all ascended into the fifth dimension, and we are now in the age of Aquarius. Now, if you're guessing and you're wondering if you're in the third dimension still, if you're stuck in the matrix, are you in the fifth dimension, you keep going back and forth and back and forth, this is your mind. This is the ego winning the game. This is proof that you need to go even deeper and meditate to get that full clarity on what the fifth dimension is. Remember, this is not a physical place. It's not a transformation. It's not a shift that is going to happen outside the body. This all happens from within. Now it's up to you in order to really get the most out of this. And remember, you can enter the fifth dimension anytime. It's just a lot easier now than it ever has been before, as the age of Aquarius is accelerating our growth right here on planet Earth. Feel that wind coming through. The Earth has shifted. The energy is now available to you to ascend to the fifth dimension. So practice kindness, meditate, go deeper, purify your consciousness, go vegan if you can. Shout out to everybody who's already vegan right now. This is a huge step that will help you enter the fifth dimension, because you're no longer stuck with all that violence and old programming of anxiety and depression. All of those things are low vibrational states that came from your ego, that came from the mind. You don't need any of those low vibrational habits. The high vibration is right here on planet Earth. So keep going with your practice. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like nothing is working, that is just your higher self pulling all of those things out of your system, getting rid of those impurities, allowing you to understand exactly what happened so you can create balance once again. Now, there is no judgment here, whether you think you're in 3D or whether you think you're in 5D, it's all love. Remember, unconditional love is what the fifth dimension is all about. It's not about saying, oh, you're better if you're in 5D and everybody in the matrix can just go away because they're not good enough. That's not how this works. We are all one. Never forget that. That Christ consciousness, that Krishna consciousness lives within all of us. So go deeper. Every single time you get caught in the ego and you're wondering, am I in 3D or am I in 5D? That is the ego winning the game, trying to pull you into the past, trying to pull you into those old comforts of life. Now remember, when this happens, you really have to trace back those thoughts and ask yourself, am I in 5D? And then go really far deep into that one particular thought and examine it, contemplate, where did it come from? Is it coming from the mind? Is it coming from the ego? Is it coming from the higher self? Is it somebody else's thoughts that you're picking up in the room? Is it old programming that's coming from ancestral trauma? I mean, really understand where those thoughts are coming from and practice discernment on which voice you are going to follow with action. Because if you're feeding that mind that says you are in the matrix and you are in the third dimension still, then that is what you're going to get. This all comes down to your belief system. So with every single thought that you're having, if you're putting energy behind those thoughts, that is what creates your belief. So if you are in 5D and you truly believe it, then you are. You will start radiating unconditional love. You will start being in tune with the universe. You will feel so connected with nature that there is nothing to separate you from anything in the universe. So remember, all of those impurities have to come to the surface. They're there for a reason. That dark depression that you've been avoiding, that uncomfortable thing, that confrontation that you've been dancing around for your entire life has to be confronted before you enter 5D. Now take a moment with me. breathe it in. This fresh prana, this new energy that is available to us right here on planet Earth is allowing you more than ever to enter into the fifth dimension. And don't get all caught up in expectation into the Hollywood films that you're just gonna like blast off somewhere. That's not how this works. Remember, true change happens from within. Focus on yourself. Focus on the light and the unconditional love vibration that lives within the heart. Nothing else matters in life right now. If you have that toxic relationship, that job that is pulling you down, if you feel overwhelmed in your own home situation, remember, right here is the solution. This is the Atman. This is that space right within the heart that you can access 24/7. Now that we are in the age of Aquarius, it's never easier. It's just never been easier to access that heart space. Now, how effective are you at getting there? How effective are you at going through the mind, going through all of those projections of who you should and shouldn't be, and just simply be? Just simply be in love with yourself. When you are truly in love with yourself, then you will radiate that unconditional love frequency and project it to every single person that you meet. It's a beautiful time to be alive. We have to get rid of those expectations of what the fifth dimension is. Just because it's 5D doesn't mean that anything else is bad. The number one misconception is that you're just going to vanish and evaporate and go onto some magical planet, or that Jesus or Yahshua or Krishna or some God is going to come down to planet Earth and save everybody. That's just the programming from the Matrix. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to think that it's an outside solution. The real truth is only change comes from within. True change comes from within. You have to really want it. You have to go for it. And when you do that, your higher self is going to push you into the right direction, and then you fully accept where you need to be and go through it in order to enter 5D. What are you going through right now in your life? Think about it. What obstacles have you overcome in 2020? What things have you had to completely abandon in 2020? What have you let go of in order to fully enter this unconditional love frequency that we call the fifth dimension? What did you do in 2020? Because all of those things are so important to understand what the Great Awakening is all about. It's not this Hollywood thing that is going to be about aliens and spaceships and people coming in and blasting and blah, 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 Independence Day status. That's not how this works. Remember, everything that you're doing right now is about the oneness, the Christ consciousness, the Krishna consciousness, whatever you want to call this. This is the unconditional love frequency that all the gurus, all the saints, all the teachers that have been on planet Earth have been talking about for thousands of years now. The only thing is, what have you done in your life in order to get you in tune with that particular energy? Because everything in this universe is energy. And remember, energy is always moving. It's always expanding and contracting based off your belief system. So if you truly believe that you can enter the fifth dimension, you can do this right now. It's never too late. It's never too late to have an open heart. As long as you have an open mind and a beating heart inside your chest, you can enter the fifth dimension. Remember that you have to go through that darkness, and it's not just rainbows and butterflies all the time. This hippie woo-woo stuff that gets tossed around makes people think that just because you have dreadlocks or just because you are wearing crystals around your neck or something that you are automatically going to enter the fifth dimension. That's not how this works at all. We need to get away from those cliche programming that comes from the Matrix and understand that you need to enter 5D right now. There is nothing stopping you. Now that we have entered the age of Aquarius, it's never been a better time to truly ascend into the fifth dimension. So pull those skeletons out of your closet. Do the shadow work. Detox your body. Once you fully purify this light, it will come through. That's what the Great Awakening is all about. Feel this movement as we enter the fifth dimension. It is here, baby. I am so excited. I know you are too. I want to give an explicit shout out to everybody right here. Thank you so much for being here. And shout out to the Inner Circle members, because I would not be here without you guys. Seriously, I love each and every one of you. Until next time, infinite love and infinite peace.